Michael, you're bringing back erotic thrillers with this film. Why do you think it's been so long since we've seen a project like this? And why do you think the industry hasn't embraced the genre?
Oh, that's a really good question. It's a total mystery to me. I mean, and I think when you talk about erotic thrillers, you that might conjure different things to different people, right? And you might think of like a film like Body Heat or Wild Things that I would call like a sweaty neo noir, or you might think of a Blank from Hell movie like The Nanny from Hell and Hand That Rocks the Cradle. But our film is a what I'd call a steamy moral dilemma. So think of like Unfaithful or Indecent Proposal, where I think those films are so controversial because the problems the characters face have problematic answers. Like, would you sleep with Robert Redford for $1 million? What I love about this is that like you're going to have a strong opinion on what the character should or should not do, and the person next to you is going to have a completely different opinion, and you get to have this debate afterwards that is almost like revealing parts of yourself to your friends. And so our hope is that the Voyeurs is a part of that tradition, where people just don't feel like they want to miss out on the conversation that happens afterwards.
Sydney, you've done it all throughout your career. What was it about this particular project and character that stood out to you?
Well, I really wanted to work with Michael again. It was kind of like this beautiful full circle family reunion getting to work with him. And when I read the script, kept my jaw kept hitting the floor because there's so many moments that you don't expect. And like Michael said, where you have an idea, an expectation and of what you think the character should do. And I kept thinking, oh, Pippa's gonna do this. And I kept being blown away by her choices. And I love a character that is exciting and different. And I loved the story that she was telling and of, is it okay to watch? And I thought that was a complex idea that Michael really dove into.
So much trust that's involved in a project like this. Sydney, how were you able to build that relationship with the rest of your cast?
Well, Michael just creates such a beautiful environment to feel organic and free and safe to have relationships with the cast, the crew, everyone that you're working with. And we all lived together in this hotel and we just kind of became best friends and we had working sessions together and we hit it off.
I mean, this cast is everyone's. It's also a big part of it is just casting really nice, cool, down to earth people, which all four of them, they're awesome.
Thanks.
Michael, it's been a 6-year journey to the screen. What has it meant to you to finally have this come out? And what do you hope audiences take away after seeing it?
I'm still a little in denial it's happening because, through COVID, we were editing the movie, then we got shut down, then we came back up, and it just all feels, to be honest, it feels very surreal right now. But I think, when I think about the themes of the film, I always go back to like this notion of the grass is greener, right? And how even if you're in a committed relationship, we're always all kind of like wondering whether or not what's in front of us is the best possible thing for us. And I think in the last 10 years, this has gotten worse with Instagram, right? Because you now have this app where you can stare into the window of other people's lives. And even though we know that what we're looking at has been like face-tuned and filtered to present this completely like unattainable non-reality, it still makes ourselves, feel dissatisfied by comparison. And so, what I hoped with this film is that, it's an allegory. So, you can watch it with that lens if you want, but it's still a fun ride, even if you're not paying attention to it. But B, you get to see our characters go through that window and they look around and they sneak into the Halloween party and drink all their booze and look in the corners. And what they see is that beyond the image of this like pristine, artistic, successful couple is actually quite broken and sad.
And Sydney, you and your character take audiences on an emotional roller coaster throughout this film. How did you prepare to tackle her journey? And is there a particular scene that you're really excited for your fans to see?
Oh my. Well, I build these character books and I built a very vast book for Pippa, and Mike and I worked on it together and we just built her world out. So during the entire process, everything that affected Pippa would affect me the way that it would affect Pippa. And I didn't really have to necessarily like think about it. It would just be natural because I knew this character so well. One of my, I don't know what scene I'm most excited about. There's there's a bit of Pippa that I was able to bring Sid into, and I think that Mike definitely saw it. So I'm really excited for the audience to kind of get to see my goofy side through
Totally.
Pippa.
Yeah,
which,
people don't know that Sid is actually like a secret nerd.
yeah. So
Um,
I think
sorry,
weirdly, no, I love
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I think weirdly enough, that's what I'm most excited for.